Every investigation begins with a single question. A question that has the power to uncover hidden truths and expose stories the world has forgotten. But some investigations lead far beyond the crime itself. They reveal decades of history, fear, and unanswered questions. This is the story of one of the most feared criminal organizations ever investigated in the Americas. Its name has appeared in headlines, courtrooms, and international investigations for years. Today, we follow the evidence to understand how this story began and why it still matters. To understand the truth, we must go back to where this story first began. Every document, every timeline, and every clue reveals another piece of the puzzle. Our goal is simple: follow verified information, separate fact from myth, and understand the bigger picture. This is the investigation into the story of MS-13. To understand this story, we have to travel back to Los Angeles in the early 1980s, a city shaped by change, opportunity, and growing social challenges. Many families had fled conflict in Central America, hoping to build safer lives in the United States. But adapting to a new country often came with isolation, poverty, and difficult circumstances. In some neighborhoods, young people searched for identity, protection, and a sense of belonging. Over time, small neighborhood groups began to form, setting the stage for events that would later draw the attention of investigators. What began as local groups would eventually become the focus of major investigations across multiple countries. As the years passed, some neighborhood groups became more organized, attracting the attention of local authorities. Investigators began connecting incidents that, at first, seemed completely unrelated. Piece by piece, a larger pattern slowly started to emerge. What appeared to be isolated local events would eventually become part of a much larger international investigation. The story was no longer limited to one neighborhood. It had become a case followed across borders. But how did a local group grow into an organization investigated around the world? That's where our investigation continues. By the late 1980s, investigators were beginning to notice that isolated incidents might be connected. Patterns slowly emerged across neighborhoods and separate investigations. What first appeared local was becoming a much larger investigation. As authorities gathered more evidence, cooperation between agencies became increasingly important. Investigators compared reports, timelines, and locations to better understand the broader picture. The investigation continued to expand beyond a single city. The evidence suggested that this was becoming a case with international significance. As more evidence surfaced, investigators realized they were no longer examining isolated incidents. The investigation expanded as different regions began sharing information. Every new report added another layer to an increasingly complex picture. What had started locally was now being examined on a much broader scale. Public attention grew alongside the investigation, bringing new questions and new scrutiny. For investigators, every answer seemed to uncover even more questions. In the next chapter, we examine how investigators responded and how years of evidence shaped one of the most closely watched organized crime cases in the region. As investigators gathered more evidence, individual cases slowly began to fit into a much larger picture. Every report, every timeline, and every document was carefully reviewed. Piece by piece, investigators connected information that had once appeared unrelated. Investigations soon involved cooperation across multiple regions. Modern technology helped investigators organize enormous amounts of information. Each verified clue strengthened the overall investigation. But the investigation was still far from over. The next discoveries would expand the case even further. As the investigation expanded, analysts focused on verifying every new piece of information before adding it to the case. Timelines helped investigators understand when different events occurred and how they might relate to one another. Investigators compared information from multiple public sources to build a clearer picture. As more verified information became available, the overall timeline grew more complete. The investigation required patience, careful verification, and close attention to detail. Each confirmed finding helped investigators understand the broader historical context. By this stage, the investigation had become a complex international effort, built on years of documented evidence. As the investigation progressed, public institutions began coordinating their efforts across multiple jurisdictions. Information from public records and documented investigations was carefully compared and verified. Over time, investigators built a clearer understanding of the overall case. Public court proceedings and documented legal actions became an important part of the story. The investigation also highlighted the importance of long-term cooperation between institutions. Behind every major investigation were years of patient analysis and verification. The findings contributed to broader discussions about public safety and prevention. But even after years of investigation, important questions remained. As more information became public, investigators refined their understanding of the case through documented evidence. The investigation underscored the importance of cooperation, patience, and careful verification. Communities affected by organized crime often carry its impact for many years. Beyond the headlines, the lasting goal has always been stronger communities and greater public safety. For investigators, every conclusion depended on facts that could be verified, not assumptions. Every investigation also offers lessons that can help prevent future harm. Understanding the past helps us better prepare for the future. In our final chapter, we step back to reflect on what this investigation teaches us and why its lessons still matter today. After examining the evidence, one thing becomes clear. Understanding the past helps explain the present. This story was shaped by history, social challenges, and years of documented investigations. Behind every case are real people, real communities, and real consequences. The most valuable lessons come not from fear, but from understanding the facts. Careful research, verified information, and critical thinking remain our strongest tools. Every investigation leaves us with new questions and new opportunities to learn. At USHT, our mission is simple. Follow the evidence, question assumptions, and present the facts. If you value thoughtful investigations and evidence-based documentaries, you're in the right place. Thank you for joining this investigation. This is USHT. Until the next investigation, stay curious, stay informed.